My name is Adam Crane. I've worked for Ivey since 2017. First 2 years was out in the field, and then through an accident ended up needing to be in the office for a while, and then kind of developed my current position as plans coordinator. Now work with CAD and making our plans as Ivey Standard as we can. When Matt gets an idea for a new plan, he works with an outside firm to really put that on paper. He'll bring it to me and say, hey, we need this many more elevations, or we want to see what it looks like for the Ivey Standard and see what we need to change. Because sometimes the flow just doesn't hit quite right. The lighting placements aren't quite right. We really take everything into consideration when it comes to building a plan. It's not just, oh, let's start something new. It's, hey, how would you walk in if your hands were full of groceries and you need to flip on a light switch, or you need to open a door? Which way does it need to go? It's not just, oh, let's build a plan to build a plan. It's taking the customer into mind. So when it comes to the word elevation in terms of house building, what that means is what the front looks like. When we say elevation B, that means that it could have stone and lap siding or a different type of siding, versus elevation D, which would have brick and board and batten, or even a different type of siding as well. They may look very similar, but when it comes to the type of siding or even brick or stone, that's what creates multiple elevations. Some of our houses have up to 8 different styles of elevations. Some have low as 2. It really just kind of depends on what we're thinking at that time and making sure that we can offer the most to the customer. The Ivey Standard is a term we use within Ivey that just means that we want to keep it top notch. Everything is going to be top notch. We don't want somebody walking into a house going, oh, I wish this door opened this way, or I wish I had a light switch here. We want to give that to you before you ever even know that that house is an option. We want to make sure that if you walk in with a handful of groceries, can't really flip the switch, you know that the door is going to open a certain way and can kind of bump a switch on, or you know that the pantry door is going to open a certain way, so when you need to get something when you're cooking a meal, you're not having to go around the pantry door, you go straight into the pantry, or how the kitchen sink lines up with a window and that way you can see the kids playing in the backyard, or how it lines up on an island so that for you can see the family in the family room while you may be in the kitchen. It's thinking about every single day that you're going to be in there. We want to make sure that if it's not your forever home, it's as long as you want it to be and you're not regretting any decision you made. So the nice thing about buying an Ivey home is that each one can be completely different than the one next door. You can have different standard options selected that will be different than the one next door or 3 doors down, to where the options really are limitless. Whether you're a pre-sale, whether you're a quick buy, wherever you are in the process, it allows you to not think that you're buying the same house that you see down the street. It's your home. It's gonna be different in some way, shape, or form that makes it yours. At Ivey, we're building in 2 states, in 4 neighborhoods with multiple lot styles, which allow for roughly 65 different housing selections. And what I mean by housing selections is different plan names. Within those plan names, you have an average of 5 elevations per plan name. That allows you to kind of do whatever you want to with your home and to make it yours. We build houses, you make it your home. At Ivey, we take the buyer and we take the market and we take the world into consideration. When the recession happened in 2007, we had to look at what we were building at that time and go, people aren't gonna be able to afford this, so we had to come up with an entire different housing selection for them to be able to actually afford a home and to be able to move into a home. And we continuously are doing that. We're continuously taking even old plans and renovating them to be built now instead of being built like they were 5 years ago. It's the same elevation, it looks the same, but the floor plan may be different. The way that you walk into the house is going to look different, and we're constantly looking at those things to make sure that we're giving the buyer the best selection they can to build their own home. We want to make sure that it's not just a cookie cutter home or just some home. We want it to be yours. When it comes to when we design a new plan and what that looks like, we draw on so many different situations, whether it's competitors' issues that we see that maybe we can, leap on and say, oh, we can do that differently, or it's even looking back at what Jake Ivey did when he first started and seeing how he laid out his homes and what he did that made it a Jake Ivey house. We take that in consideration and we look at those things to build the best plan that we can for you. We are constantly innovating it, we're constantly changing it, we're constantly looking at things that make that flow of that house better. We don't want you coming in, walking into a house and walk straight into stairs that you have to walk around to get to the back of the house. That's not really fun, it's not functional. We want to make the house as functional and as easy as possible. We don't want you feeling tight in your house. We want you feeling comfortable. My favorite part of the job is when customers come in to sign off on their plans with their personal option request on the plan. You can see in their eyes when they start to realize, okay, this is what my house is truly going to look like. You can see them start to lay out furniture. You can see them start to think, oh, we're gonna do this here, we're gonna do this here. This is how this bed's gonna sit. This is how, this dresser's gonna be. You can see the wheels turning in their head of making that house their home instead of just being somewhere where they stay, where they live. They're making it their home. That is the coolest thing to me, is just seeing all the selections, all the complications, or all the overwhelming choices that you have start to just kind of fade away, and you see your house and you see what it's gonna be and start to make it your home. So they make it their own Ivey home.